Again, what have the last 2 weeks been like for you since you got drafted? Most guys are going to a different part of the country and trying to figure things out, and you're here. What have you been up to?
Yeah, it was definitely a blessing more than anything. A lot of guys, like you said, cross country. But with me, right after the draft, I got to go right back home and sleep in my bed. So honestly, it was nice. It was a blessing.
How would you describe the last couple of weeks in terms of getting caught up on the football and kind of shifting gears from pre-draft mode back into playing football mode?
I've had help from the staff here. They've helped me a lot. Zoom calls, all that sort of stuff. It's kind of making sure that I can grow and learn the playbook as much as I can. They've been installing it kind of slow, step by step. And I feel like I've been picking it up pretty well.
Icky, they talked to you about, are you definitely left tackle and is that what
I'm at left tackle right now. That's what I'm working at during camp. But Coach Camp knows, the whole staff knows I'm flexible. Play wherever they want to play me. But right now I'm at left tackle, so I'm excited for it.
I'm just curious, have you ever read Things Fall Apart?
I actually haven't. I told my dad I was going to read it because that's my dad's favorite book. But no, I never got a chance to read it yet.
I'm sorry, you go.
No, go ahead, John.
Among the things that you feel like you want to work on, what are the biggest things that you want to kind of cover in the show in your first week?
I guess it's more like my effort, work ethic, stuff like that. Stuff that I've put on film already, just showing that I'm the same type player, that I was in college, and I'm just looking to grow on the player that I already was. So really just kind of getting out there and just going 100% every drill, every rep, just showing the guys that the efforts are always going to be there.
Icky, when you get an NFL playbook from the Panthers, what's different? What do you think the biggest adjustment for you will be?
Biggest adjustment, I guess. The O-line's a little bit more involved in knowing like the formations and stuff, whether it's like 3x1, 2x2, all that sort of stuff. At NC State, it's a pretty complex playbook, but it's less of a responsibility to kind of know the formations. So kind of learn like the whole play call instead of just like looking for a number or something like that. It's a little bit different, but I feel like I've adjusted well to it.
I know this speaks mostly about the rookies, but how much interaction have you had with your other teammates on the offensive line since you got drafted?
A little bit, after I got drafted, I got some texts from a couple different guys, a couple of guys walking through the building this morning as well, so I got to say what's up too. So, it's kind of nice having a lot of vets, as you can see on the O-line, Bozeman, Corbett, Moten, just to name a few. So I'm really excited to be able to kind of be around those guys more and kind of just pick their brain a little bit.
What's the best advice you've gotten from them so far?
Best advice? Should just work. Just work. And don't be scared of being a rookie. Obviously there's rookie duties, all that stuff you got to go through. But it's just, it's just really just a rite of passage. It's something that can be fun more than anything. So just be a good rookie and just work hard. It's pretty much the best advice.
What made you do? Go get donuts or something?
Nothing yet.
Okay.
But I'm kind of anticipating. I'm probably going to have to sing a song or something like that. I'm already getting ready for it. So yeah, we'll see.
Minicamp, I was going to ask you. You guys were doing some work with like Bosu balls and some tennis balls today. Was that new to you, and what was that supposed to mimic?
No, not that new. At State we use a lot of sandbags, especially individually. That's one of our favorite things to do as away from coach, as an offensive line, is to do sandbag sets and stuff like that. Bosu ball sets as well. We use like a medicine ball sometimes, but Bosu ball is pretty much the same type of technique, so not that new to me.
I want to ask you also if you had any background prior to this weekend with Matt Rhule.
Matt Rhule, a little bit. Just me and my family, like brief conversation before we went on the red carpet for the draft. It seemed like a cool dude. I got to talk to him on the golf ride cart back over here. So got looking forward to developing that relationship, being able to meet with him more and more.
What was your first impression of?
Definitely seemed like I said, cool dude, cool, calm, and collected. Just kind of just going through the walkthroughs even just this morning, you can see that, the poise in the pocket, and you kind of see that he feels like he's ready for the position. You can feel like that he's ready and he's going to keep working hard and kind of just keep growing.
Speaking of something more, so let's get Ellis. Speaking of something that may be new to you, what is it like going through a practice with so few other offensive linemen involved? Yeah. Is it more intense? You didn't have a full offensive line out there for 7-on-7.
Yeah.
What was that like?
It's good. Definitely a lot of work in, which is something that I was looking forward to a little bit. Kind of just making sure I develop and get really just back into football shape as quick as I can. So definitely, a less of a work to rest ratio, but definitely great work. And Coach Campbell definitely took care of us today.
Have you ever experienced anything like that at the high school or college level, or is this
the only time I can say that is COVID year when people were dropping like flies? I think one practice we only had like 12 offensive linemen or something like that, which is we usually have around 20, 24. So that was definitely an adjustment. But, you know, like I said, you know, coach is going to always take care of us.
Icky, what weight did you report at? Was it what you wanted to be? And also, does everyone in your life call you Icky?
Most people call me Icky, kind of back and forth, really. Like, I don't really have a preference too much, you know. Ikem, obviously, I like to honor my Nigerian heritage, so, you know, I'm obviously proud of my name, so I like being called Ikem. But, you know, I've had the Icky nickname now for, you know, almost 20 years now. So, obviously, you know, I respect both names, you know, whatever people want to call me, Ikem, Icky, you know, no preference. My weight, you're right, I weighed in 323. Usually I can play around anywhere between 315, 330. With me personally, I would like to focus more on like the muscle mass versus the fat percentage more than like the actual number, because I feel like that's a little bit better metric.
All right, Zach, then we'll be done.
In a setting like this, when you've got guys who are going to be competing just to try to make a spot on the roster, you being a top pick, do you have to find yourself like taking the pressure away from yourself to not be like, oh, I got to show out, I got to make sure that I show why I was taking where I was taking?
I mean, I feel like with me, it's just more just like being consistent. You know, they obviously blessed to be drafted number 6 overall, and they drafted me for a reason. They don't want me to do any more, any less. I don't think they want me to be the same player that they saw and that they evaluated. So I'm just going to be that guy each and every day.
All right, thank you guys so much.
Appreciate y'all.
Matt, how did it feel out there, and what did you think of some of Coach McAdoo's pre-practice activities with the jump rope and the low handle?
Yeah, no. First off, I'm blessed to be a Panther. I'm happy to be here and playing football again, and getting another opportunity at that. But there's a lot of new things today that coaches want it. We're going to do it, and we're going to execute it to the best of our ability. And that's what he wanted, so we did it. And I kind of like the jump rope. It was a fun competition.
How would you describe the process of getting the first bit of the install before you're getting on the field and going through it for the first time today?
Well, luckily I was on Zooms with Coach Ryan, and that helped a lot, because I couldn't imagine what it would be like if I didn't have those Zooms and I just got out there, because it was a lot. I mean, they throw a lot at you, and they expect you to execute within good reason. So, like right after this, gonna go into the dive into the playbook, and whatever I messed up on the film, go over that and just get 1% better every single day.
There's probably a lot more pre-snap that you have to feel than necessarily you would do at the college level. How prepared are you for that responsibility, number one, and number two, what is it like getting used to doing that for the first time?
It's not necessarily so in college it was more of, I had pre-snap checks, but it was only in the pass game. Now the next level up here in the NFL, it's every single play, run game, pass game. There's everything. You got a bunch of appendices within the plays that, certain plays require more, but there's also, the simple plays where you're just handing it off and you got to check it to the other side, which is fairly easy. But it could get pretty in detail if within the playbook.
I wanted to ask you, we haven't talked to you since draft night, and a report came out after the draft that one of the reasons you go to the third round were alcohol-related issues and other issues. Can you comment on what those things were?
Truthfully, I don't know where that came from. I mean, it was just one of those things that just got out there. That was honestly the first time I heard that, and as far as that's something I can control. Again, I got picked up. I'm here with an opportunity, and that's all one can ask for.
Why do you think you failed?
Man, I truthfully, I don't. That's none of my business, and I'm gonna be the player and play.
A lot of quarterbacks have come to the league, and they end up getting drafted to a team that has a pretty established quarterback that's been there a while. Here, it's a little different. Sam's got 1 year left on his contract. So I guess what I'm saying is you've got an opportunity here. Was this a blessing here to be picked here, given that opportunity?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it would have been a blessing to get picked up anywhere, but there are opportunities here, and right now all I'm worried about is just getting through minicamp and taking it one day at a time.
Matt, what was that experience like in Vegas where you're in the green room and then I guess you went with your family, you said the second day just back to the hotel.
Yeah.
Was it disappointing and did it kind of leave you with a little bit of a chip?
100%. I mean, I had a chip on my shoulder before, but it just got even bigger, and it was for sure a roller coaster. It was a bunch of mixed emotions, and when I got that phone call, I have never truly been happy and sad at the same time. I've never felt that before, but it's definitely a good experience, and I'm glad I went just to experience it. You only get drafted once, and I just wanted to do the full thing with my family.
A lot of people, who describe you say you're very competitive and you wear your emotions on your sleeve. I don't know if you agree with that, but if you do, what does that look like? Can you describe that?
I'm just, I always say to myself that I never want to get too high, I never want to get too low in your play. When you do something good, remain the same, even if you did something bad. But me, I mean, you're gonna see emotion, and that's just the type of player I am. If we do a good play, if we do something that we're expected to do, not so much of a, emotion, but like when we do something that's, doesn't necessarily happen a lot, like you're gonna see some excitement from me, and if it was something negative, of course I'm not gonna show it to my teammates, but in my head, I'm gonna get on myself a little bit, and then next play. But I'm a very competitive player, and you're gonna see that.
Can I ask what? Sorry. Can I just ask what influenced that? What
Honestly, it's how I have always been. I started noticing it when I was in middle school, and I would be training. I used to be, I felt like a workout wasn't working, and I used to, I'm gonna be honest, I started crying because I was so mad that I felt like it wasn't working, and I kept going. And later on that year, I was a completely different player because those workouts were working. I just wasn't seeing the progress, within a couple weeks. And season comes along, I'm a totally different player. I can actually run the ball, and this was like in 8th grade. And so, that was a lesson to learn back then, just to, not be so hard on myself and just to trust the process.
Matt, Icky said you guys met briefly in Las Vegas. What was that interaction like, and what's it been like getting to know him?
He was one of the first linemen I met. He's a very very out there. I love Icky, and I love his personality. His personality is just bright, and he brings a smile to my face every single time I talk to him because he's just a funny dude. And he's a heck of a competitor, and that's the first time I've ever seen him work was today. And I'm excited to grow this relationship with him.
Matt, what was the idea of picking number 9? Was that your first option?
No, it was mixed between 4 and 9. I got caught between there. I didn't like the double-digit numbers, and I really like Stafford as well, so I just chose with the 9.
Matt,
Couple quick ones, guys. Let's be
what
fast.
were the last 2 weeks after Vegas? Did you go back to Cali? I mean, what have you been up to?
I had to go back to Oxford for 2 days to get more of my stuff and move it back to California. And as soon as I left. I got there. I left on Sunday, got back Monday, and I started training. And I was just training for football, getting ready for minicamp and OTAs.
Did you have an opportunity to talk much with Darnold yet?
Not yet.
I listened to David, then we're done. I
just want to talk a little ball, man. How do you think you threw it today?
Throwing the ball, I thought I threw well, but just keeping everything under control and having things organized in your head, felt like I was everywhere. But I mean, that's normal,
Sure.
just for the first install.
Of course. And then how do you think your 7-on-7 group performed in those competitive drills?
It was definitely good just to see the competitiveness in the offense and the defense together, and just putting it all together and making it one unit. I felt like it was good. A lot of guys knew what they were supposed to do most of the time.
Coach Levy was saying that he feels like you're a lot closer to being NFL ready than some of the analysts gave you before the draft. Where do you feel like you stand now? How close are you to being NFL ready to compete for a starting job with Sandor?
I mean, all it comes down to is knowing the playbook. If I could know the playbook, I'm gonna be ready to play. And as far as getting ready to to be a starter, like that's not my of course my mentality is to be a starter, but right now I'm trying to get on that 53-man roster.
Thank you, Matt. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Matt.
Thank you.
Cade, what's this weekend like and in the process of getting caught up and learning the football again, sort of shifting gears from pre-draft mode?
For sure, like you said, just getting caught up, learning as much as you can, just diving in the playbook, getting back into that football mindset instead of the combine training. So that's really the biggest part of it, is just getting back into a football mindset and diving into the playbook.
Is that a relief almost after the last couple of months?
For sure, definitely. As an O-lineman, this is what you do. You love football, you love what you do, and the Underwear Olympics, that's not your forte. So you like to play ball, so that's what we're here to do.
What did you like least about the Underwear Olympics?
I say just wearing underwear. I guess.
Kate, what's the biggest adjustment, day one of an on-field NFL practice for you?
I would say just the playbook's a lot different than college. Getting here, trying to learn, just dive into it as much as you can, and pick up on the things the coaches are telling you, and receiving that knowledge and just retaining it, and just diving into it.
Have you ever practiced with so few other offensive linemen, only 4 of y'all out there?
No, I've never practiced with 4 offensive linemen. It reminds me of my pro day. I was the only one there, so it's kind of like that. You're just rapid fire, getting a lot of reps, but it's good. It helps you get back into football shape and get you a lot of reps.
Your thoughts on Icky and also on Matt Corral as you guys go through this together?
For sure. Icky's a great player. I've watched a ton of his film. Great teammate. Seems like a great dude. We've chopped it up a ton since I've been here for the last day. Matt, I've known him since high school. We were friends coming through recruiting and stuff, and it's cool to have a friendship in high school and then bridge it later down the road in the NFL. It's really cool.
Okay, where do you feel confident playing at this level? Which positions?
I played all 5 in the SEC, and I feel like with the growth of my game in the last year, I've grown a lot, and I feel like I can help this team wherever they put me in any 5 spots.
How important do you think that versatility is at this level?
I think it's really important. It's essential in my opinion. Being a guy that can play all 5, it's essential to me because I like to know what everybody's doing from the right tackle to the left tackle, and it's just really important to be able, if somebody goes down, and kind of like in college, left tackle would get hurt, I'd be playing right guard, and then I'd swing over to left tackle. So it's a really, really important thing to me.
Where and how did you develop that relationship with Matt?
We were in a group message in high school. It was like, I guess, the ESPN 300. There was a bunch of us in a group text, and we were in that group message. We all kind of stayed in contact until we went to college, and then pretty cool. You have that relationship, and then you get caught up in college football, and it kind of dies down, and then bringing it back up in the NFL.
Did he remember you? Did y'all have a kind
Yeah,
of good
for sure.
talk this week?
For sure. Yeah.
What was that like?
Just seeing him, asking how everything's been. It's been a couple years since we've seen each other and talked, so just catching up and a big hug. So.
What do you remember about him from the camp days?
Just remember he was a competitor. He was a really vocal leader, and he did a great job at Ole Miss. When we played him this year, it seemed like we couldn't tackle him. So he's a competitor, and he loves the game of football.
Any more questions for Cade?
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you.
Thank you.